What were you doing on Monday, March 22nd, 2021 at 9 a.m.? I was at a rally in front of San Francisco Hall of Justice, 850 Bryant Street. Our crowd started small, then it grew and grew and grew until over 400 people covered the front steps, sidewalks, and spilled into the streets where the police scrambled to find more people to keep us safe from traffic. I was joined by community leaders. From the Thai community, Catherine Poshepny. From the Chinese community, Nancy Tung, public safety advocate. From the African American community, Amos Brown, president of the NAACP. Bayard Fong, president of Chinese American Democratic Club. Sasanna Yi, granddaughter of Yi Wong, who died from the attacks. And Kevin Epps, producer and filmmaker of Straight Out of Hunters Point.
March 22nd, 2020, and we are standing in front of 850 Bryant today. Good morning, how are you? Good morning. 大家早安。大家早晨。聽唔到你啊。Thank you for being out here today. My name is Leanna Louie. I am the founder of the United Peace Collaborative. 大家好。我是雷千紅，大家好，我係雷千紅，我係聯合惠和團嘅團長。今日我哋到嚟呢，就有幾個好重嘅重點。第一，今日 Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee 佢係俾人殺。Please come on over here, Nancy。咁今日呢，係喺入邊法庭嗰度咧就係審案嘅。So why are we here today? We're here because on Thursday, January 28th, 2021, 19-year-old Antoine Watson ran across the street and violently shot 84-year-old Grandpa Vicha Ratanapakdee to the ground. Grandpa Vicha fell. He fell backwards and his head hit the ground, which led him to die shortly after he arrived at the hospital. We're also here because of the many, many victims of crime. Since the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020, over 3,800 cases of hate and racism or acts of violence has been committed and reported towards Asians. This is from FBI reports. 3,800 cases. 自從舊年3月喺美國有超過3,800單案係暴力對亞洲人嘅暴力。To let San Francisco Hall of Justice and all the representatives know that we had enough. Let me hear you. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. 我哋受夠啦！我哋受夠講3次，我哋受夠啦！我哋受夠啦！我哋受夠啦！我哋受夠啦！ So today, I had a sketch of some speakers that I thought might be here. I'm going to start with people who are already here, who are here to support us. So, right now, I'm inviting the Thai community leader. Any Thai community leaders here? Please step up here to make a speech. Why are you here?
My name is Catherine. I'm half Thai American, and this is personal to me because Mr. Vicha is my best friend father. I know the family for over 20 years. He's like a father to me. And all the time, we grew up like all the Asians and we respect the elder. And what he been taught all of us, even I'm not his real daughter, but we call him like a father. He said to respect, to love each other. That's how we are Asian, and we can live together because we learn how to respect, have a kind heart, and got attacked just because he wants to go out and walk in the morning. It's not fair. It's not fair to anybody. And it hits me personally because my mom is 80 years old, and I tell her, Mama, don't go out and walk in the morning anymore because we never know. Anybody wants to turn around and try to attack my mom too. So this has hit us personally. And as a Thai American and every Asian American, please come out and speak out. Tell the truth if you also got attacked. Not physically, but mentally. I'm from Thailand. 20 years ago, you know what people tell me? Swim back to China. And I said, even though I'm not from China, I'm respectfully, I said, I'm sorry, I'm from Thailand. And still politely apologize to people who yelled at me and said, go back to China. I said, I'm from Thailand. Do you know the difference between each Asian? No, you don't. But it doesn't matter. We don't deserve to get attacked because somebody say that this virus is caused because of Asians. It's not. The virus is the virus. We don't deserve to get blamed. None of us deserve to get blamed. Whether it be Asian or people of color, we don't deserve this. And if you are a victim, please don't feel alone. Look at everybody here today. Everybody. Not only Asian. Caucasian, African American, every race. We've been a victim somehow. Please come out. Join together and fight for this. Stop racism. And thank you again for giving us a chance. And thank you.
And see how many people here, if you have been a victim of crime, can you raise your hand?如果你係曾經係受害嘅話，唔該你舉起你嘅手。Do you guys see that? Please, I hope you're showing this on TV. Almost everybody here has been a victim. It's just killing me. Right now, I'm going to introduce you a public safety advocate, Nancy Tung.
Thank you, Leanna. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Are we here today? Thank you, everyone, for being here. My name is Nancy Tung. I'm a local San Francisco public safety advocate, a career prosecutor, and also an elected member of the Democratic Party in San Francisco. You're a representative in the Democratic Party. There are 2 points that I want to make today. One is that the overwhelming support for this criminal case, this prosecution, is amazing. And it can't stop. This is how we hold our elected leaders accountable. It's by shining a light that the community cares about this case, that we are outraged about what has happened, and that public safety is important to us as a community, not only as Asian Americans, not only as African Americans, not only as Caucasians or Latinos, but everyone. Public safety is a right. Public safety is not just for people who can pay for it, it is for everyone. And the people who are most impacted by reductions in public safety are the people who are the most disadvantaged in our community.
That's right. That's right.
People who are silent, who are oppressed, people in Chinatown, people in Bayview, people in Western Addition, people in the Mission. So continue this fight. continue to shine a light on what is happening in our courts, and we will finally get some justice. The second thing I want to say is that hate and racism need to be encountered and challenged at all levels. And this is not just about what happens on the street, it's happening with our elected officials as well. And so when you see racism, you need to call it out. And I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. A lot of you have known and have seen in the media that there have been racist tweets that have surfaced by a member of the Board of Education, Allison Collins, calling Asian Americans racial stereotypes like white adjacent and the model minority, and calling us a huge monolith, which is not true and it's damaging to the Asian American community. I won't even go and say what the most offensive thing that she said. You know what I'm talking about, Maddie, right? You absolutely know what I'm talking about. So I'm introducing a resolution at the Democratic Party this Wednesday to call for Allison Collins' resignation. It is important that she acknowledge what is going on. She acknowledges her implicit bias, her own racism, while she is calling out other people's. It is so important, and this resolution is going to be important too. So I hope I will have your support. Please call in for public comment, but please keep showing up. You have a voice. The most important thing you have is your voice. Thank you everyone for being here, and thank you, Liana, for all of your heart and your hard work in organizing this. We can tell you really care and you are such a good leader for our community. Thank you.
In the office, not only that, but she went on patrol with us. She went on patrol with United Peace Collaborative, not once, not twice, but 5 times now, in San Francisco and in Oakland. Remember her name, Nancy Tung. Say it again, Nancy Tung. Thank you very much. Next speaker we have is a lifetime civil rights leader, president of the NAACP, Amos. Thank you for being here today, sir.
My friends, good morning. I am, as announced earlier, president of the San Francisco branch of the NAACP. But more importantly, I've been pastor of the historic Third Baptist Church for now 45 years.
Yeah.
And during those 45 years, I heard an old preacher tell a story. And I hope you take it in a positive sense. That there was a lady who fell into a river. And a man who was standing on the bank jumped in to save her. He grabbed for her head and a wig came off. He grabbed for her arm and the prosthesis came off. And she kept yelling, "Save me, save me, save me." But the old preacher said, if you would stay together, you will be saved. What is the moral? At this juncture in history, we must understand that it is our moral obligation to stay together as Asian, as Black. George Bernard Shaw said a long time ago that the worst thing you can pay to your fellow person is not to hate them, not to do things against them, but to be indifferent. We must come out of our state of indifference. When anybody is hurt, we all hurt. When anybody is preyed upon, we all preyed upon.
Amen.
And we must go beyond this day and hang and stick together to make sure we go to the polls and vote and stop saying your vote doesn't count. Your vote does count. Your mind does count. Use your head for more than a hat rack and hold these politicians accountable. And don't forget, 2022 is around the corner. And you can call your friends, your homies, your neighbors, your associates, and your significant others, and tell them that the shortest route to safety and getting rid of violence is the voting booth. So, the NAACP is called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But for us, color comes in all colors. And we welcome you to join the movement that we will hang together, stay together, pray together, sing together, shout together, and build community together. God bless you.
我想好簡單咁解釋，Amos Brown 係一個牧師，佢係一個好多年嘅 civil rights leader。唔好意思，我啲中文唔係話咁好，但係咧點解話俾你聽？佢講一個好感人嘅故事。咁到最終咧，佢就同我哋講：如果我哋係想三藩市改變嘅話咧，我哋一定要註冊去投票。咁到時要投票嗰陣時，你就要去投票。如果唔係嘅話咧，我哋乜嘢都唔會再改嘅。OK？ 我哋華人已經受咗好多年嘅委屈，我哋唔可以繼續咁樣做。我哋一定要去註冊投票，到時一定要投票。Of the Chinese American Democratic Club, Bayard Fong.
Thank you, Liana. Chinese American Democratic Club started in 1958 to stand up for Chinese Americans, Asians, and all people of color for equality in our government, for equal rights and human rights. Today we stand to support Vicha's family and all of our family here. Growing up, my grandpa took off down to Chinatown every Sunday to go to the club meetings to help lead the men and the families in Chinatown that needed support. When I became old enough to drive a car, I would take him down there. I would pick him up. I would take his elder friends and buddies to their homes. I did that my whole life. I learned from my grandpa and brother Amos Brown here. I learned from Amos Brown when I met him on the scene in 1978, 1980s. We were working on the 1980 census. We wanted to make sure all of our people of color get counted. Chinese, African American, Latino, homeless, seniors, everyone. And I've learned and privileged to work with the Chinese American Democratic Club leadership that if we work together and we build coalitions, we have a history of building coalitions in San Francisco. This is the next phase, to build a coalition, to lock elbows. Let's lock elbows, everybody. Lock elbows. Everybody lock elbows. Black, Asian, Latino, white, everyone. And with this unity, we will lift the whole nest. We're not going to leave anyone behind. And we're going to use love and compassion, and we're going to get to the root of the matter and use civility and find the answers and raise our San Francisco to its highest levels that we've seen all together. That's the only way. On behalf of the Chinese American Democratic Club, Leanna, thank you very much for leading this. And Vicha, the family, I'm so sorry for the loss, but we will continue on this building creating what I call, I have a sign I use, creating a symphony for humanity. Let us raise our hands, everybody. Creating a symphony for humanity. Thank you very much.
We have a dear friend of mine whose grandmother was a victim of crime. Sasanna.
My name is Sasanna. Wow, what a jerk. You're common.
Get him out of here.
Go because our love is greater than.
Don't let him do that. Don't let him do that.
Yeah. Ignore that. Ignore that. We are here for a bigger mission. That's right. My name is Sasanna Yi Yugaman. My grandmother, Wong Yet Moy, Yet Oi Huang. I feel the pain of Vicha and his family, the Ratanapakdees, because I lost my grandmother in 2019. The pain I feel is personal. The pain I experience daily. I read the news, I hear all the victims' names that are not mentioned at all because people have trouble saying their names. So how do we remember them? We need to practice. So I would love for you to say, Vicha, actually, would you say it, Claudia?
Vicha Ratanapakdee.
Vicha Ratanapakdee.
Vicha Ratanapakdee.
Vicha Ratanapakdee. Thank you. And I would love for you to say, Wong Yet Moy. Wong Yet Moy. Wong Yet Moy. Thank you. So, after grandmother, I founded Communities as One, as an organization to bridge all our different communities together and find common ground. We have more in common. We all bleed red. We have so much in common. We are human beings and we all belong. There's a hashtag, Asians belong. We belong on the cover of magazines. We belong in the White House. We belong on these streets and in the schools, in the history books. We belong here. We have Asians belong. Asians belong. Asians belong. We have built the railroads. We have built this country along with the brothers and sisters, Black brothers and sisters, Latino brothers and sisters, Native Americans brothers and sisters. We have built this country and we are ignored. We have been othered. I'm tired of that. You gotta see us. We are here. We are not strangers. We are not perpetual foreigners. We belong. And long before COVID, our children have been bullied, our women raped, our men ridiculed. And that has got to stop. We see us. We see you. We think about you all and no one thinks about us. That has got to stop. I have heard so many stories growing up. Visitation valley. there, I had to speak up. I could not let that be swept under the carpet anymore. We're not invisible anymore. Thank you. We belong. So one more time, Asians belong. Asians belong. Thank you.
Film producer Kevin Epps, the producer of Straight Outta Bayview, my neighbor.
God bless y'all. I want to say it's an honor to stand for in solidarity with all our community members. We are our community family, and I do want to keep this short and sweet. In the words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King, hate will not drive out hate. Only love will drive out hate. So this love, let's move in love, love for justice, love for peace, love for respect, love for dignity and humanity for ourselves and our neighbors. And if we move with love, love will conquer all. And we would defeat this hate, this bigotry, and this violence against our community. So let's start this love movement, y'all. I love y'all, let's respect, and let's continue to move forward.